Hello, my fellow patriots. Well, the debate is canceled, but if you follow any kind of news, you already knew that. But they are going to have dueling TV events today, Thursday, October 15th, in which they are both going to be having their own separate rallies, I guess you would say, at the same time on two different networks. Trump on NBC, Joe Biden on ABC. But let's go ahead and read the story real quick. I don't want to make this video too awful long, but things happen. President Donald Trump's refusal to hold a virtual town hall debate with Democratic nominee Joe Biden after his hospitalization for the coronavirus has created one of the stranger events of the 2020 campaign. Two town halls, each featuring a candidate before different audiences in different cities at the same time. Well, yeah. Of course Trump's going to not accept a daggone virtual debate. I mean, why would he want to? Whenever, they ask him a question and he goes a millisecond over the time and boom, they hit the button, muted. Meanwhile, they give Joe Biden all the time in the world to answer whatever he wants. Well, to be honest, Joe Biden needs to have all the time whenever he just stumbles on the thing, and all this and that. Yeah, well, I don't even know why they're having it for. I mean, after all, Joe Biden's running for Senate, not the presidency. I mean, he's done said it twice already. The concurrent hour-long event starting at 8 p.m. New York time, Eastern time, with Trump on NBC and Biden on ABC, threatened to fracture television viewership, not really, making it harder for the candidates to deliver their messages to a broad audience. Not really. It's actually fairly easy. Republicans will watch Trump. Democrats will watch Biden. Not that hard. Even so, the event will give Trump one of his highest profile opportunities before the November 3rd election to reverse his slide in polls that show Biden ahead. Polls lie. Look at 2016, and they've been caught polling undecided people who were actually Democrats. So when you poll a majority Democrat, the polls show majority Democrat in the lead. Funny how that works, isn't it? Instead of sparring with each other over topics such as the coronavirus pandemic, the economy, and healthcare, the town hall format typically gives the candidates a less contentious opportunity to lay out their positions and engage one-on-one with voters about issues they care about. Yeah. And I'm sure Trump's going to be all over good old Hunter Biden. Yeah. The leaked hard drive, the pictures of him partaking in drug activities, and proving that Joe Biden lied when he said he didn't have anything to do with Hunter Biden and his little Ukraine escapades. Yeah, that should disqualify him right there from becoming the president. Trump backed out of the originally scheduled debate for Thursday that was planned as a town hall format. His campaign rejected revised plans by the Nonpartisan Commission on presidential debates for the candidates to appear remotely after Trump was hospitalized for COVID-19, insisting that the president and his aides, a number of whom have also tested positive for the coronavirus, pose no health risk. His tests have come up negative numerous times. He's been tested a hell of a lot, and they've all come up negative. He was perfectly fine to do the debate in person. Nonpartisan commission. Shit, all the daggone people who are going to moderate it was good old Joe Biden cronies. A group of more than 100 actors, writers, and producers complained in a letter to Comcast Corp and NBC Universal about its decision to air Trump's town hall opposite the Biden event. The letter, reprinted in publications such as Variety, called it a disservice to the American public. Oh, wah, wah, wah. They crying because they know Trump is going to get 10 times the viewers that daggone Biden will. And while they may actually claim that Biden has more viewers, it'll probably only be on TV, on cell phones, streaming devices, and internet. Oh, Trump's going to dominate. We believe this kind of indifference to the norms and rules of our democracy are what have brought our country to this perilous state. Indifferent. They're the ones who wanted the virtual debate. Yeah, never before done that. According to a letter signed by director J.J. Abrams, actor John Hamm, and writer-director Aaron Sorkin. Who cares about Hollywood? I'm sorry. I have now disliked a lot of my favorite actors because of their extreme view on politics. I mean, I used to love Jim Carrey. I thought the dude was freaking hilarious. But after his little breakdown, I would say, where he showed Trump on a TV and started coughing on the TV, then blew his nose on a napkin and wiped it on the TV. I mean, that's nuts. I mean, Hollywood is nuts, and dear God, don't get me going on freaking Kathy Griffin holding up the little severed head. NBC said its decision to air the Trump town hall at 8 p.m. was out of a desire for fairness after hosting Biden in that hour last week. If we were to move our town hall with President Trump to a later time slot, we would be violating our commitment to offer both campaigns access to the same audience and the same forum, NBC Universal News Group Chairman Cesar Conde, I'm not sure, said in a statement. At a rally in Greenville, North Carolina, on Thursday, Trump complained that NBC had asked Biden easy questions at a recent town hall. Of course, that's the only ones he can answer. They asked him questions that a child could answer, Trump said, even though it was largely voters doing the questioning. Yeah, because even the voters know that Biden can't handle big questions. And the one question that everyone wants him to answer, are you going to pack the Supreme Court? They refuse to answer. So, in refusing to answer, it is an answer. Yes, they will. He even said, if I answer that question, it's going to be all over the news. That's all it's going to be. Well, that should tell you all it is right there. If they say no that they're not, then it's not really going to be news. But if they say yes they will, it's going to be headline news for weeks and months. So what does that tell you? He also suggested Biden may struggle at Thursday night's events on ABC. I like to watch him because I want to see if he can make it through the program, Trump said. And honestly, they'll be so soft. They will. With 19 days until the election, early voting is already underway in 24 states. In-person and mail-in voting are surpassing records amid concerns about COVID-19 transmission at polling places and what strategists in both parties say is heightened interest in the race. The pandemic, which has killed more than 216,000 people in the U.S. and left millions infected, is sure to be a top topic among voters' questions for each of the candidates. 2/3 of registered voters say the president failed to take appropriate precautions against the virus, according to a Washington Post ABC News poll released over the weekend. Biden has hammered Trump for his cavalier approach toward the pandemic. Okay, well, I mean, you want to keep things in a positive light. I mean, you don't want everybody to be all depressed and, The president has spent recent days downplaying the threat posed by the virus, touting an experimental antibody treatment he received while hospitalized and saying social distancing measures advocated by Democrats did more harm than good. I don't know about that. The cure cannot be worse than the problem itself, Trump said Wednesday in remarks to the Economic Club of New York. It depends on the person. If you're young and healthy, then yeah, very, very good chance, almost minuscule chance that you'll have, any bad side effects or even die from it. But if you're very old, like we learned from the learning curve, yeah, you're more poised to die if you have very bad underlying health conditions that can, exacerbate them and make them much, much worse. Let's see, though. Both candidates are also likely to face questions about the Supreme Court. The town halls are taking place during the confirmation process for Trump's High Court nominee, Amy Coney Barrett, which they also announced that they all have the votes for. They've been grilling that poor girl, but they have the votes needed. October 22nd should be done and over with. Democrats argue that the nomination shouldn't be considered while voting for the next president is underway. They're warning that Barrett could cast a deciding vote to overturn the Affordable Care Act. It's an abomination, which has become increasingly popular. The president and his campaign aides, meanwhile, see the nomination as a way to activate conservative and religious voters who care deeply about the court's composition. Trump and other Republicans have been pressing Biden to say whether he supports adding seats to the court or court packing, an idea that has support from progressives who see it as the only way to regain a majority, as conservatives appear on track to hold 6 of the court's current 9 seats. They want power by any means necessary. I wouldn't put it past them to put another 10 Democratic seats on the daggone Supreme Court, just so there is no, that it would make the Republicans null and void. Nothing would get passed for Republicans or conservatives ever again. After weeks of ducking the question, Biden said Monday that he's not a fan of court packing, but still left open the possibility. Trump has argued that Biden's refusal to answer is evidence that the former vice president is a puppet of the more extreme elements of the Democratic Party. He is. Biden is nothing but a puppet. Period. He can't go through hardly anything without using a daggone teleprompter. I mean, the man he's showing all the signs of dementia. He really is. I mean, a vote for Biden is a vote for Harris for president. Biden won't last. He won't. He's either going to, kick the bucket, or they're going to declare him as, not being fit to be president any longer, which will put Kamala in charge. Which, God help us all. But, yeah, I mean, the Affordable Care Act was a disaster. People in my area, it destroyed them. A few people that I know had to go to the next state, over 100 miles away, to find a doctor so they can continue their plan. Their premiums went up. The deductible went up. Instead of, having to pay, $2,000 out of pocket before the insurance kicked in, it went up to $7,000. And if you didn't pay, guess what? You still had to pay. You had to pay the penalty for it. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. The Affordable Care Act was trash and still is. They say, it's to help people. No, it's not. If it was to help people, why didn't all the people, all the Congress people, everybody in Congress who passed it, why didn't they get it? No, they still got their private health care insurance. For God's sakes, they passed it and they didn't even know what was in it. The document that they released for it, that everyone was supposed to read before they passed it, was over 1,000-something pages. That thing was more thicker than a daggone book. And they blatantly admitted they didn't know what was in it. They didn't read it. They passed it and said, we'll read it later. These are the people that run the country. They pass laws without even reading them and knowing what's in them. I mean, for all they knew, it could have killed anyone over the age of 70 just to lower all the healthcare risks. I mean, it could have knocked them all out of their healthcare insurance. I mean, they didn't have any idea what was in it, and they passed it. These are the kind of people that do not need to be in charge, because they make decisions that impact your life, and they don't even know what's in these laws. But anyway, I guess this video's gone on long enough. I can tell you now which one I'm going to be watching. Of course, I'll probably watch them. Watch both. I'll be watching Trump, but I'll have Biden playing muted in the background so I can click over to it every once in a while just to see how many people's watching between the two. And yeah, it's going to be rather interesting. I'll probably do a video on it, but it won't be today because, like, it's 8 o'clock, running until 9. That's kind of late. My wife's got to get up rather early to go to work, so that means I got to get up early too. But yeah, if anything breaking comes out, I will, I'll make a video and post it. But if not, no. And look forward to that video for tomorrow. And I will see you in the next video. Stay vigilant, America.